What if Regigigas was in Gen 1 OU? This has been a pretty popular requested Pokemon, and the reasons are pretty obvious. Because you know that ability called Slow Start? Yeah, it's gone. It's gone completely in Gen 1 because there's no abilities. Which, as you can imagine, would make a big deal. And even though that's the main reason you guys are watching this video, the fact that Regigigas also happens to be a normal type, yeah, that, oh boy, we're in for a doozy. I'm just saying right now, we have 18 replays. There is a lot to go over. So let's just start, shall we? So this dude's lowest stat is 80. That already is kind of insane, especially since it's 80 in special attack. So not even the biggest deal. I'd even argue that's still pretty good. Oh no, it is good. Tauros has base 70 special, and that's considered good. So yeah, yeah, it's great. Not to mention you're only really using it for coverage. You don't even want to use it to kill anything. Mostly just to chip things just before finishing them off. But 110 in defenses, 110 in HP, 100 speed. That's the same as Zapdos. So it's gonna crit 19% of the time, and that monstrous 160 attack. That I'm pretty sure that might be the highest stat that I've gone over on the series so far. Yeah, that it is a big deal, especially for a Pokemon that has Stab, Hyper Beam. But also I want to check something. If you look up Snorlax, okay, it has 160 HP. Okay, I was curious to how good his HP actually was. Okay, I was okay, no way it's as good as Snorlax, which it's not, but 110 is pretty close relatively, or in the grand scheme of things. And I'm not sure why these every time I do one of these, they always have the attack IVs to 0. It's kind of weird. But anyways, I don't even know where to begin. I guess his moveset. This dude he has I'm not gonna say everything he could ever want, because he didn't get rest or substitute until Generation 8. But what he has, he can easily manage with. We got Earthquake, Fire Punch, Ice Punch, Rock Slide. Oh, I guess he did have substitute in Generation 1. Oh no, I'm thinking of Protect. Yeah, Protect, yeah. Thunder, Thunderbolt, Thunder Punch. Okay, I don't know why, but for some reason for the replays, I thought he only had Thunder Punch. Okay, so just remember that it's only relevant for one of them. But I just know he has Ice Punch, but he has Thunderbolt instead, which is, as you can imagine, much better. He even has a Confuse Ray if you want to be annoying, and then Hyper Beam. Now, at first, I tried doing something that was just Rock Slide, Earthquake, Ice Punch, and then Thunder Punch. Again, forgot he had Thunderbolt. But this, I feel was a mistake. Which luckily I realized were just one replay. But I thought, well, this right here is basically just perfect coverage. And with 160 attack, he doesn't care about, stab. But yeah, I severely underestimated just how strong Hyper Beam on this guy would be. Luckily, I've learned to err on my ways pretty quickly. But obviously, I thought he was going to be good. There's no doubt about that. And even though I played, some Generation 8 VGC, so I know what it's like to deal with a Regigigas that doesn't have to deal with Slow Start. But I was just genuinely unprepared for just how strong this guy actually was. There's no doubt about it, he would definitely be Ubers, but just how much does he actually dominate everything in the game? Only one way to find out. Starting with the first of a few different Tauros replays, because this was the first one where his strongest physical move was Earthquake, which even Earthquake is as you can see, that's really good. It 3-shots, Tauros, which unfortunately Regigigas at last minute gets a low roll, which is very unfortunate. But Yeah, it's even that's is pretty good. But obviously just with Hyper Beam, it just does so much more damage. Which, yeah, it sucks a lot that you don't have like Body Slam or Double Edge. But you know, I think Regigigas is fine either way. How much does Hyper Beam even do on full HP? That's what I was curious about for a lot of these replays. And there's a crit, which obviously does like a lot. So yeah. So Regigigas' Hyper Beam is essentially as powerful as a critical Hyper Beam from Tauros. I don't think I need to tell you just how big a deal that is. Obviously it's not as powerful, but it is relative in power, which changes everything. It also just makes Regigigas, like that easily makes it the strongest physical attack in the game. It might even be the most powerful just unboosted or non-critical hit move in the game as well. The only thing I can think of that can like really challenge or boost Snorlax's self-destruct, which as you can see there, Snorlax, it does not matter what set you're using, it does not fare too well. Even if you try using Reflect, like even then, like you can just go for like Thunderbolt or like Fish for Freezes with Ice Punch, which that's another thing that like, you know, also it's like, are you serious? Along with just being just a tank or a Juggernaut, it can just attack anything. It can even Fish for Freezes. I'm not sure what can survive that long, but if it needs to, like it can. And here we just have a replay where I just keep on using Soft Boiled and Hyper Beam a lot, because I was trying to see if like there was a damage range where Hyper Beam just kills at full HP without a crit, which I wasn't able to find. But either way, it was really satisfying seeing just seeing like Hyper Beam just do so much to Chansey. It just felt really good. And with this replay, Chansey should have won, but at some point I just purposely started not attacking with the Chansey, just because I really wanted to see, which I never ended up seeing it, so I'm assuming it's not possible. It just barely, you know, it barely doesn't one-shot out a crit, but that's still amazing. Chansey flat out can't take any damage whatsoever. And even though Regigigas doesn't have rest, I would say it's probably tanky enough to where it doesn't care. Like, yeah, if it gets paralyzed, it's annoying. But you hit so hard, everything's afraid of you either way. There is not a single Pokemon that can like rest easy with Regigigas in the field. And stuff like that exactly. Like Alakazam could have paralyzed him, but like, what would be the point? You're just wasting your Alakazam. But it's just terrifying just how strong this guy really is. And this is the one replay where, like, you know, I say like it matters. And even like Thunder Punch doing a third, that's good. But if that's doing a third, I'm assuming like Thunderbolt just flat out just 2-hit KOs it, which makes the matchup even better. So yeah, Cloyster just can't do anything. And we both know even Explosion wouldn't do that much. Executor on the other hand, yeah, it doesn't matter what Pokemon, nothing likes sleep mechanics. So Eggy just whittles you down. Or I say whittles you down, but like, yeah, no, it just hits hard. It just hits hard. And those two crits were unnecessary. But that is Executor for you. It has 55 base speed, so it's like crit rate isn't anything like, you know, special. But if you're sweeping, you can guarantee he's gonna get critical hits. It's just like the rule. And also I was curious to see how much Hyper Beam did instead. Hyper Beam does way more than Ice Punch, which I guess shouldn't be that surprising. And Explosion does like a little bit more than half health. So Regigigas can realistically take that on. But then again, it's probably gonna like crit if like, you're the one using it. And then against Gengar, it doesn't want to miss Hypnosis. But at the very least, like, to my surprise, Earthquake isn't a guaranteed one-hit KO. Granted, you have a good chance of, you know, critting, so Gengar probably dies either way. But, Gengar just can't hurt Regigigas either, even with Explosion, after doing some chip damage. And also, I was also curious to see what does more between Ice Punch and Earthquake. And, like, Ice Punch on its own does like a third, which is good. And then, Earthquake does a little bit more at 44. So is that still a 3-hit KO? Or is Earthquake a 2-hit KO? If both are 3-hit KOs, I would say we probably would rather just go for Ice Punch. Just for the chance of, like, either a freeze or then just, like, you know, switching on to something else. So that's why I think even a Rock Spade Earthquake is good coverage. I would argue you still want to stay with Bolt Beam. And here's probably another one, now that I think about it, where Thunderbolt is also very important. Although I would argue once, you know, once Slowbro goes for Amnesia, like, Thunderbolt becomes less impactful anyways, and you probably would rather just go for Hyper Beam. Because, yeah, Hyper Beam does half damage. Slowbro, flat out, cannot, set up against you. It cannot reliably get a whole bunch of Amnesias up. Even worse is that Regigigas' crit, I think it's just a guaranteed KO. If that's how much it does. Slowbro is not safe against Regigigas. Nothing is safe against Regigigas. That's how much Hyper Beam does. And unlike the Chansey match, I'm not going to put this on fast. Because let's be real. Okay, first of all, yeah, it wasn't anywhere near as long. But also, I think all of us were just really satisfied to see just how bad we Slowbro did there. And just seeing it like try to fight for its life. It's like free therapy. Gotta love to see it. Alright. Next one. Also, obviously, Jinx and Jolteon just get destroyed. Did not bother, like, getting replays for them. Although I did check to see if Hyper Beam did OHKO, Jinx, and it absolutely does. The reason I wanted to check is because Arceus is like Hyper Beam didn't one-hit KO it. So now I'm just kind of paranoid. But yeah, it does well. And Jolteon, I imagine, would put up a much better fight. But if Earthquake doesn't, like, you know, one-shot, then, like, it mostly does, and because of, like, how tanky Regigigas is, Jolteon just can't do a lot of damage without a crit. Doesn't really matter. Starmie, as you can tell, doesn't do that much better, because the Hyper Beam does, like, most of its HP. So, like, yeah, there's nothing in this game that likes dealing with Regigigas. Hyper Beam is just so gosh darn powerful. And honestly, just seeing how dominant Regigigas actually is, it's kind of make me realize why they gave it slow start. I would still argue like it's not fair. It isn't fair, and that it just. I mean, like, what was the worst case scenario? Like it becomes like dominant Ubers. Like it was unnecessary, but like when Regigigas isn't nerfed, he truly does do an insane amount of damage. And even something like Zapdos. Okay, let's be real. It's Zapdos. It's freaking Zapdos. Of course, he still does a lot of damage, and of course, he still hits hard. And even though these guys have the same amount of speed, of course, Zapdos just crits way more. It's Zapdos. What do you expect? It's not fair. But yeah, that match can go either way. So Zapdos can't really act cocky. Okay, and at first I wasn't sure if this. I'm not sure why I didn't have these at the beginning. I guess like I guess I'm just used to Regigigas not being so dominant. So I wasn't sure if this would be a Gen 1 OU video or a Gen 1 Ubers video. And obviously it's Ubers. Like there's no doubt about it. But how does he do against, you know, Mew and Mewtwo? Starting off with Mew. Mew has like, you know, sword stands, and then it can like it can survive both an Earthquake and Hyper Beam, which is nice. But it still doesn't really like it. Although it is by far the best thing that can tank Hyper Beam in the entire video. Obviously Rhydon would do a better job taking it, but it also doesn't like Earthquake or Ice Punch. But Mew, Mew can theoretically do a good job. In fact, I would not be surprised if there's like new Mew sets specifically for taking out REGIGIGAS. Although even then, a Hyper Beam just kills you with a crit. And also, the other Mew set, or not like the Mew set, I guess it can sort of be the same one, but Sword Stance Mew with Explosion. I was curious to see that. And, yeah. It one-shots. Because nothing in Gen 1 Uber survives an explosion after Mew gets a Sword Stance off. But last, and certainly not least, we have REGIGIGAS versus Mewtwo. Arceus was unable to dethrone Mewtwo as the best Pokemon in Gen 1 Ubers. But can Regigigas do it? After all, it does have an extra 40 in attack. Starting off, like, you know, Regigigas goes for an Earthquake, it does like a fourth. And then Mewtwo can survive a Hyper Beam, heal, and with its Amnesia boosted Psychic, can easily two-shot Regigigas. So far, we have not found anybody who can beat Mewtwo. So far the king still stands on his throne. Mewtwo is the best Pokemon in Ubers. And considering how Gen 1 works, or Gen 1 custom games, where even Dark type moves are like programmed to be neutral, and then Ghost is programmed to be immune, I'm gonna make the claim right now. There might not ever be a Pokemon that could be superior to Mewtwo, other than like, let's say like Eternamax Eternatus, or like Ultra Necrozma, or and Mega Evolutions, or specifically the Mega Mewtwo's. But like those are all sort of like extra forms, not like the main Pokemon, you know. You guys can like give suggestions for legendaries you think might be able to beat Mewtwo, but I'm starting to think nothing can beat it. Well, let's look at the tier list. Even though it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it's... what can I say? Regigigas be dominant. And this might just move up the great matchups now that there's Thunderbolt instead of Thunder Punch. But yeah, Regigigas does not really have a bad matchup. Even both Executor and Mewtwo like don't want to take Hyper Beam. And I think both of them just die to a critical Hyper Beam. The only thing in the game that can survive a critical Hyper Beam is Oddish. Which, like, it's an Oddish. So that shouldn't really surprise you. Nothing in the game beats Oddish. But that's about it. I know you guys really wanted to see this, especially after I did the Archives video yesterday. And you know what? Depending on how much time I have, I might do Slacking today. And if I don't do Slacking today, I'll definitely do it tomorrow. Which I think after that, that's the whole trio of like Pokemon with historically very bad abilities to hold them back. So yeah, thank you for watching. What else would you like to see? I'm always trying to follow your guys' suggestions and have a lot of fun with it. I do not have much else to say other than Regigigas, I am sorry for underestimating you. Even though I already thought you were going to be good. I really did not think Hyper Beam would be that powerful. But I think that's my fault. So that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. This is Groundback, and I look forward to hearing from you.